All right, I'm here talking to my man Raeshaun. And what part of the country are you from?
From West Palm Beach, Florida.
West Palm Beach, Florida. And so you are a recent college grad.
Yes, sir.
You're here with your mom and your sister. And so it's a recent college grad. Now, let's have some real talk. Let's talk. You're a young brother out here in Africa. Is this your first time on the continent?
Yes.
All right. What have you seen as far as what has this stimulated, if anything, since you've been on this particular trip? We're here in Egypt right now. We're cruising down the Nile River.
So I was talking to my family about it. I feel like I was kind of ignorant coming out here. I thought I was gonna see people that, look just like us. I did not know that this was like a country that people spoke Arabic, that you were gonna kind of see people like of Middle Eastern descent. I did not know that. So I would say that was probably the most like surprising part, because I didn't do research before coming out here.
So you just kind of got on the plane.
Yeah, because I could have, but I was like, I'll just go and just kind of see what it is. But I'm part of a fraternity. My fraternity has very deep Egyptian roots, so it's kind of like, it was very interesting to be able to correlate the information that I previously learned versus like actually what I'm actually seeing, and kind of being able to, bridge that intersectionality between the two.
All right. So you are an alpha.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that's alpha Phi Alpha.
Alpha Phi, yes,
All
sir.
right. So that's just kind of put that in perspective so everybody understood when he said that he's a part of a fraternity and how all of the information now intersects because you're here in person. So when you got off the plane, you're like, wait a minute, all these people are Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
So were you thinking that Africa was like a country? You might maybe.
No.
What was your thought?
So I knew Africa, of course, was a continent. I knew it had different parts of it, different areas, different countries. I knew all of that, but I think I didn't know necessarily the regions of Africa, and that, if we're in Northern Africa, that you might see people of a certain descent, but if you're in a different part of Africa, you'll see others of a different descent. I didn't necessarily know the specifications of that much.
I had to go ahead,
Right. So I didn't know the specifications of the different regions of Africa, but no, I knew a little bit more than just that.
Because a lot of people think Africa is a country.
No. Ignorance is bliss, but it's not that.
It's not quite that bad off,
Yeah, no. I know a little bit more than that, but
and that's cool. But the thing is though, but now you came and you saw. Now we're on the Nile River, and we're headed to an area where you're going to see that melanin. We're going to Aswan. We were in Cairo, then we were in Luxor. Now we're cruising down the Nile, headed towards Aswan, and that's where you're going to start seeing some of this chocolate. That's where there's some a bit more representation. But even with that though, what has this trip been saying to you as a young black man from America?
It's definitely been saying that there's a lot more out there, I guess you could say. It definitely shows you to appreciate. I'm Jamaican, so I've been to Jamaica several times. And I've kind of seen like that aspect of it, but this is like a complete different tier of like just culture-wise, and it's like different things that I see similar. Like I see a house over there that has like the prongs on the top to show that they're trying to build up. Like Jamaica does that too in the country, but it's different being here and kind of seeing that aspect of it, and especially going to like the cultural side of it and going to different temples. And when we were in Luxor today, and being able to see the different areas and where the pharaohs have been buried in different tombs like that, it's like the traditional aspect of it is a lot deeper rooted than people will kind of understand, and people will be able to honestly fathom if they don't come here themselves.
So you actually coming here and seeing for yourself showed you that there was more. It also helped you to understand some of the even some of the migratory patterns of people in general. When you start thinking about the Arab influence, and then you begin to see, that a lot of people have been throughout this continent in different ways and left their mark. But then you see the similarities between the unfinished rooftops, if you will, and the comparison that you made between that and Jamaica.
Right.
For 22-year-olds, I have a 21-year-old, I have a 23-year-old, I have a 19-year-old, and a 28, almost 29-year-old. For your generation, why do you think that many in your generation don't come to this part of the world or any part of Africa?
They can't afford it.
Straight up.
They can't afford it. That's definitely a big aspect for sure. But a lot of people they don't think like that. Like they're like, oh, I want to go sit on the beach. I want to go to Mexico. Don't get me wrong, love Mexico. I've been to Mexico before. They want to go to DR. I want to go to the Dominican Republic. I want to go to Costa Rica. They want to go to Jamaica. Like I said, I'm from Jamaica, but I've never even been on the tourist side. I've always been like family side, countryside. So a lot of people they see like what's on TV. They see the glitz and the glam, and people think of Egypt and they're like, oh, you're going to see golden pyramids, and it's like, nah, bro, it ain't that.
It's deeper than that.
It's deeper than that, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are more so small-minded. Aside from the financial aspect of it, a lot of people are small-minded. They're not thinking, oh, I'm going to go on a trip to Africa. They're thinking, oh, I just want to go to an island. I just want to, dress up in bikinis and swim trunks and
take a
have
picture
drink
for
on
the gram.
And take a picture for the gram.
Take a picture for the
Don't
gram.
get me wrong, I definitely took a bunch of pictures.
I take pictures for the gram
right.
too. I got a
But
gram game too.
I would rather tag Egypt than tag Costa Rica, just me personally.
I got you.
But I'll tag both of them because I would like to explore both. But like I was saying, I definitely think it's that kind of gap of just saying like they just don't know, and it's not something that they're ever exposed to. And I can appreciate that like my family is a family that pushes like history and culture and things of that nature, especially with us being from a culture that's different of that of America. It's kind of like you're more so inclined to want to explore other things and be able to kind of see where we all came from, because we all know this is the motherland. We all know that we all derived from here at a point, but it's kind of understanding exactly where you came from.
You're a very well-spoken young man, and the reason why I say that, we were all at dinner talking about his many talents and everything, and I said, I want to see what he's working with, so I put him on the spot as far as, like, I said, look, come on, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk. And he said, when the camera comes on, it comes on. So it does come on.
Yeah,
I see it. I see it comes on. What, career-wise, what would you like to do? What is it that where do you see yourself evolving?
So professionally, I definitely see myself working in marketing. I studied marketing in school. I went to the University of Central Florida, so studied marketing in school, studied health administration for 4 years. I was the crazy senior that changed my major after my 4th year.
Yeah, that is about the crazy senior.
Yeah, I was that crazy senior, and it pushed my graduation back like 2 semesters, which it wasn't the end of the world, because at the end of the day, it's like, it's all about your happiness and all about, what do I actually want to do. I didn't see myself in that field. I used to want to be the CEO of a hospital. I used to want to be an emergency physician, an OBGYN, an automotive engineer, a lawyer. I've kind of traversed through different career paths, and I've explored all of them. I've been in a law program.
And auto engineer.
I've been in the engineering program in high school. I was in the engineering program for a year. I did drafting 1 and 2. I was in a law program. I've written appellate briefs as a final exam. So, I've been able to explore this stuff. So I think a lot of people career-wise, they say they want to do something and they're like, I don't want to do that anymore, just because of like an inclination that they don't want to do it. But I've actually explored the different areas and said, no, this isn't for me. So I would definitely say that I've been able to kind of figure out what I don't want to do. I know eventually, like career-wise, I probably would get into like marketing, HR, and management, but down the line, I want to host events professionally, essentially be a socialite. I'm an entertainer. I've sang, played the sax, played the piano, stepped, strolled, like you think of it, anything you name, I've probably been able to do it before. So kind of want to hone in on those and kind of see, where it takes me.
Yeah, see, I'm sitting among somebody. I need to be knowing him. Yeah, I'm gonna look back at this video and say, I remember when Raeshaun, he was on the cruise with us. As a matter of
Urban
fact,
intellectuals right here. It's all you, man. I'm trying to catch up.
Oh man, and want to shout out Mr. Freddie Taylor and all of what he's been doing, because what he's been doing is making sure that the Black History flashcards and all the information's been getting out to be able to create these types of experiences, these travel experiences. And what I see for you is where if you just keep plugging away, you just keep plugging, and before you know it, you figure out that thing. Like for me, I've been plugging away for a long time, and I stumbled into travel. I would have never thought. But everything I've done over the past 35 years
I've contributed to this very moment.
I use it. Everything, the experience, the instincts, just kind of knowing the vibe, everything down to event production and planning and stage play production, you name it, it all comes together. So just keep plugging away, man, and never lose your fire, never lose your confidence. Even when life throws those ugly curveballs your way, don't let those dim your light,
Right.
because that's what they're designed to do.
And that's
It
the
wasn't
word. That's
it's
the word, for sure.
designed to either dim it or keep it going.
Right.
It just depends on how you see it, the
Right.
perspective you see it from. But I see a lot of bright things in your future.
I appreciate
You know,
that.
just from listening to you talk, you're able to critically think, and, and that's a popular term now that a lot of people use loosely. But I'm listening to how you analyze your journey. A lot of people don't even analyze their journey.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like,
I'm extremely self-critical. I'm always analyzing myself.
I can tell. I can tell.
I'm a very tough critic because I'm younger, but a lot of my friends are all like 25, 26.
Okay.
I have a line brother that turns 30 this month. So it's like I'm always like comparatively saying like, all right, they're doing this, I need to be doing similar. And I'm like, sometimes I need to sit down and just
and be in the
just
moment.
bask in the moment,
Yeah.
you know, and just say, you know what, I'm not there yet, but I'm also 4 or 5 years younger than you guys, so that's okay. You
Yeah.
know? So I take advantage of being mature for my age. I take advantage of being a little bit more accelerated and kind of seeing that viewpoint of where I want to go and just have to figure out the navigation essentially.
All right. Well, never stop investing in yourself. Always build your personal development. Always learn. Have mentors in your life that are legit mentors.
Right.
And be teachable, be correctable, remain humble, and all of those things, it just kind of falls into place. That's
Keep
how
God at the forefront.
There you go.
Always.
And if you do that, then you won't have half of the problems that a lot of self-inflicted problems. A lot of self-inflicted problems are going. So, but that's the deal, man. So I'm glad that you are part of this Urban Intellectuals travel experience. And I know, you know, Freddie will see this, and the Urban Intellectuals travel family will see it, along with a whole lot of other people who will have a chance to see it. So just keep doing what you're doing, and we're going to follow Raeshaun and see what, you know, I'm going to try to get him. Once he becomes a star, I'm going to try to interview him again. Say, do you remember me? Do you remember me from the cruise in Egypt?
From the cruise way back when.
Way back when. It might not be way back when.
Might not.
At the rate that you're going, it might be next year. So again, everybody, the only thing that's missing is you, so make sure that you're a part of these travel experiences.
Don't miss out. Tune in, for sure.
Open up your eyes and see all the fun and mystery. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny. From the mountains to the shore, so many things to explore. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny.
The Adventures of Darren and Destiny. And Darren and Destiny are twin brother and sister, and you go on their adventures throughout the African diaspora, meaning so African diaspora destinations, primarily focused in Africa, but we go to South America, we're going to go to the Caribbean. Their first book is going to take you to Ghana, and then we're going to go on a safari, and from there we're going to go to Ethiopia, and then we go to Salvador, Brazil. And what the goal is to be able to inspire curiosity in the continent of Africa, in our children from a very young age, and to really tell a more accurate story. Most of our children are exposed to negative images, late night infomercials about how bad things are, everybody's sick, everybody's poor, everyone's uneducated, but that's simply not true. So what Darren and Destiny and their family do is they go to different African destinations. They're learning about these different places. You're beginning to see positive images, but still telling the truth. I mean, that's the important thing, to tell the truth about some of the things that have occurred. But it's all done on a children's level so they begin to understand it. And it begins to pique their curiosity. They begin to learn more. And hopefully one day they will want to explore and visit the continent of Africa and its many countries. There's just so much that Darren and Destiny are able to do, and as they're doing it, it's like they begin to open the minds of a new generation, and they don't get bombarded and indoctrinated with negativity. They're actually able to see positivity and inspiring images and messages about the African diaspora, as well as those who are still indigenous to the continent of Africa, and they begin to learn more and just see things differently. So I'm excited about introducing the Adventures of Darren and Destiny.